be quiet for a second. Welcome to the Secular Saturday Podcast. I am actually back, motherfuckers. Whoa. I brought someone with me, and yes, I'm keeping her captive in my closet. So, as always, we have, well, today it's a different Jen. We have cattier Jen. I don't know what to say about this. Say hi, Jen.
Hi. I have alcohol.
Jen is of age, no matter how young she looks. It's sad.
Do I need to go get my ID just so we don't get banned on YouTube?
Please, no. I don't give a fuck enough.
Why is it saying I'm presenting? I'm not present. Okay, there we go.
We have Rainbow Dash. Why do we have Rainbow Dash Puma? We have Rainbow Dash Puma.
And trust me, I verified her age.
That sounds terrible. And I brought my friend, I consider her my spirit animal. We brought Nia, and yes, she's legal, just not legal enough to drink. Yet.
Hola.
I want everyone to just wait for it to present. So I want everyone to look at the amazing freaking picture she has in the background. Look at that. Look at that blanket. And then look at the close up the camera did on that amazing white long cord. Nice white and long, folks. Nice white and long. That's apparently how Nia likes it.
I must say, I like what you did with your closet that you're keeping her in.
You know, I tried to make sure the lighting was good, and I did give her drinks. I felt like it'd be fucked up if I just, made the girl just starve and shit.
Yeah. Let her out, take her for a walk on occasion.
Yeah. All right. So, today we're going to be talking about. Oh, my ass hurts. Today we're going to be talking about Ferguson. We're going to give you the update on all of that. I have YouTube videos and whatnot for that. We're also going to be talking about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu and his need to. You'll see. Let's just put it like this. For 20 years, Iran has been 1 year away from a nuclear bomb. I wonder when they're finally going to build the damn thing. And then we're going to talk about the latest Clinton scandal. And no, Mrs. Clinton did not come up with a stain on her dress. She used her personal email. So terrible. So, before we got into the rest of Ferguson, I wanted to play a quick video from CNN, and I hope it'll work for them. But just to show, this whole deal. So thanks, CNN. You're not great news, but you're not that shitty.
Or not Fox.
I feel like that's us right now. It's like we're not great news, but we're not Fox.
At least we're not Fox, thank God.
Pretty much.
No, we just said, God damn it, we're like Fox now.
Jesus. All right, kids.
Hail Satan. There we go, everything's fixed.
All right, kids. So, video time. I'd just like to point out that I don't know if it's playing for y'all, but it's playing for me. And hearing the first thing come in is, arrest that motherfucker! It's
Not playing at all, Jay.
Yeah,
no!
I thought I might have heard something, but...
Here's an email. Let me just read the email that stopped. First of all, the first thing that is said as the police chief is giving his speech is his speech was the police chief's resignation. That was his. Damn it! I got caught. But no, I don't like the Negroes, and with the Negro president, I just can't do anything. That was what that really was. He was just accepting defeat.
Oh my lord.
But this email, there was emails that came from this that prompted this. For you who don't know, everything that prompted the whole shit ton of resignations, is the Justice Department did I want to say a report and whatever of the Ferguson Police Department, and that also concluded pulling emails on work accounts, like government accounts, and one of them stated, in May 2001, An African American woman was New Orleans was admitted into the hospital for a pregnancy termination. 2 weeks later, she received a check for $5,000. She phoned the hospital to ask who it was from. The hospital said Crime Stoppers. I don't know what I should do about that. I don't. Basically, for having an abortion, the joke is she stopped another gangster nigger who would be on the loose. I just, yeah. So, hey Jen, you're drinking. What you think?
I'm a functioning drunk. Thank you very much. And did you?
Wait. Well, first question. Are you sober enough to comprehend the joke?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I can't say the same about my cat. He's rolling around psychotically, licking his own feet and rolling back and forth. So
maybe he stepped in something tasty. I don't know.
No, he's stoned. I gave him catnip.
Okay. So we have two addicts. All right, what did you think about the joke? Keep in mind these are on like their work emails. These aren't anything personal.
I mean, I would expect that kind of joke coming from a group of disrespectful high school students. That sounds like something that a bunch of drunk teens sitting around a campfire would say to each other. That's yeah.
You mean like the?
It's not
appropriate. You mean like the SAE chant? You'll have no niggers in SEE. You can hang them from a tree. But you'll have no niggers at SAE.
I don't know about where you all from, but around here, yeah. Like, even our African American kids make jokes like that. Like, they all sit around and directly insult each other, and it's okay.
Yeah, but I think it's a difference. I think it's a difference when I think it's a difference when it comes to like kids or even like because because you've met Seth or you've seen Seth. Like I don't give a fuck what someone says. There's white people that can say nigga around me, and I just don't care. Like as long as you're not using, it depends on the context in which you're using it. But 9 times out of 10, I just don't give a fuck. But these aren't kids or just regular civilians. These are people who supposed to serve and protect the people, not themselves like they have been, but the people that pay their fucking checks with tax money. Those people. And secondly, the fact that they were using their work emails, the department emails. And it's not like no one saw this, because the deeper and deeper they went into the emails, the more and more emails that they did put out, it was just the worse and worse it looked. That's why it's kind of hard for me to sit here and accept that the same Justice Department that gave the report that's saying Darren Wilson, they don't have enough on Darren Wilson, also said no, him and his department were racist as shit. It's like we can't classify this as a hate crime, but everything they did indicated it was probably a hate crime. We just can't do anything about it. Yo, Rainbow Dash.
Yo.
The fuck you think about it?
The fuck do I think about it? Alright. Off of what Jen was saying, yeah, there is just how society is these days. People say that shit all the time. Depending on the situation you're in, I'll put it this way. I work in the kitchen. About half of the kitchen is Mexican.
That's perfect.
I'd say half of it's white, and then we have our token black guy, and, all of us get along, and there is some shit that is said in that kitchen that, should be getting people fired daily. But we all get along with it. So, in that environment, I don't think it's really a problem as long as everyone's on the same page. However, with them being officers of the law, with all of the other issues going on there, and the fact that they are using the department you
Puma,
know,
Puma, Puma. You got
email
one thing wrong
server
right there.
crap. It's not like two dudes at the bar saying some dumb shit. It's you know, this is on a professional level. You are here to serve and protect the public, and I don't care what the demographic of your city is. You shouldn't be saying shit like that
Well, I
through
mean,
professional means, at least.
you gotta remember,
Or whatever.
Puma, you gotta remember, these are not officers of the law. They are the law.
Yeah, I know, right? And sadly, like,
I mean, they're the law. They're the law. Come on now.
I'm on the fence on how to say this. Like, I'm glad a lot of this shit is coming to light because obviously Ferguson needed the attention. They needed the investigation. They needed something to fix what the fuck is going on out there. However, I also feel that there are like 3,000 other police departments at least in the U.S. that need to be under the same type of investigation because there's shit like this going down every day.
Let's be like this.
All
I live
over
in
the
I live
US.
in the
There's people
South.
killed
I live in the South. I can tell you
children.
for sure that this happens regularly. Like
What was
living,
that?
I said I live in the South, so I can tell you right now it's way more than 3,000. Like, and I don't know if Nia has personally had any troubles with the law, but I'm pretty sure she can attest to it because she wasn't born in Georgia, but she was just born in another worse Southern state. Like she is like she never left the South. She was just in a shittier Southern state, and she left a kind of all right. Like she came here. Like it's
So
not
she
that
was
good.
in Alabama once?
No, she was born. Nia, that's not my business. Nia. She's from Mississippi, home of abstinence only programs, no sex education, and Bible. That's the buckle of said Bible belt. Sorry, thank you.
Pretty much.
Yes.
And then she came here to like the tail end around the fat guy of the Bible Belt, the side that's straining to hold everything in. It's like we got too many niggers, we can't hold in the Jesus. Oh shit! Like she went from the buckle. She went from where it was the tightest to coming here where it's just like a hodgepodge of fuckery, and it's terrible.
I think y'all need to come up here.
Oh fuck no.
Why? You walk around in public dressed as a black and red cat, and people will just start petting you.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean I mean, with my hair, I can just walk into a crowd of white people and they'll start petting me. So.
Exactly.
No. I think that is racist. Me and my neighbor are trying to trade hair. He wants blonde, smooth hair like this. I want his motherfucking dreads, because them shits grow natural and they're awesome.
You get dreads, bro.
But he wants this.
Hey, leave that man and his dread wishes alone. He just doesn't understand that the police beatings that come with dreads and the random inspections at highway stops, the random inspections. This is completely random. We just stopped another black man, but since you got those dreads, we're assuming you're moving the drugs for him. So, completely random, though. But no, I mean, the emails get worse than this, though. The emails go on to attack the first lady as far as it had a picture of some native people and some native tribes in Africa. And it was just a group of women, and it said Michelle Obama's high school reunion. Again, on a government email. Which I would laugh at it any normal time because I'm one of those people that believes comedy is one of those no holds barred type deals.
I'm gonna admit that one. I mean,
but you have to look at it like this. If you're a police officer making this on government emails, and then you have a problem, it'd be different if this was like a spotless record. Like they never had a problem with black people at all. Like they weren't just shooting black people like wild game in the streets. It's like, look, I found me another one. Tag them.
And stop chewing your clothes off in my bedroom.
Do what you want. She's not going to do anything. But no, I mean, like I said, it'd be different if it wasn't like open season on colored folk. Like if I could walk out and not feel like I'm gonna get shot by my neighbors and the police, that'd be great. Cause one's bad enough to worry about, but I ain't got time for two.
Hey, at least you're not wearing a Hatchet Man on your forehead, too.
Yeah. That got me into some trouble. But I don't know. I'm curious because, I mean, I've had experiences with the police, but Nia going from one of the shittiest southern states to one of the kind of not that shitty southern states, I'm curious. How bad have the police been to you? That's if they can even see your short ass.
I've personally never had any altercations with them. My family really hasn't, but
Hold on. I would like to point out something. Kids, listen to how she speaks. That's probably why. I've never had any altercations. You got me over here, fuck the police, and you got her, I've never had any altercations with the police.
Well, she's also a girl. I mean, usually they go up
That's
front. It's kind of a my dick's bigger than yours type deal, I think.
Yeah, but she also, I mean, there was another girl that was just shot, like, in the streets by police. Like, police officers have no problem. If they want to hit your ass, they're going to hit you. But, I mean, Nia, continue. I'm sorry that we interrupted you.
well, I came from an extremely small town called Amory, and only about 7,000 of us populate that area anyway. So, it wasn't, you rarely saw police, around anyway. It was majority white, but see, Amory is the type of place where you have that subtle racism. So they'll smile and look at you like this, but then they'll say something like real slick. And I
That's subtle racism. See, that's why I love Georgia. We're just open with our shit. You nigger, thank you.
I mean, Mississippi is like the same way, but it's if you go into like deeper Mississippi, like deep Mississippi and southern Mississippi, that's where you find it. But I'm like way up north, out towards the west, so you don't really get a lot of that. Not
to anyone
openly
in Mississippi, what she's saying is she was following the North Star, and that's where she having the land. She was running away from you niggas.
Yeah, I think that I guess looking back on it now, you're definitely more prone to having issues with white people the darker you are. So I'm lighter skinned, so I never really had any problems. That's really as much as I can say about it, because my Nana is definitely pro-black all the way, and she's lighter than I am. And she will pick up on the slightest, any itsy bitsy tiniest piece of racism, and I'm just like, where?
So I can never be around her. That's what you're telling me.
Probably not. But she's got like racism radar, and I'm just like,
she'll see me. She's like, that one right there. I'll be like, fuck. I didn't even get the first light skin joke out.
So.
No.
Yeah, so where I was in Mississippi, it wasn't openly prominent.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what it was like for Puma, because Puma and I are both juggalos, but I understand that I get shit for being black off top. Or, like, I'm not even, like, first of all, I like to find out I'm not even technically black. I just look black. Like, it's just bad enough that I'm brown, and I look, like, it's not tan brown. Like, it's noticeably brown. And it doesn't help that I fuck with cops and speak only Spanish when dealing with them if I really don't like them. So I'm curious, because I know that I know the whole fam, as far as juggalos, we get a lot of shit as it is. And it doesn't matter what race you are, you're going to get shit. So I'm curious what your experience is like. As Puma takes time to think about it.
Brings up one thing in particular to me. It was a really weird instance when I was living down in Richmond, Virginia. Mind you, Richmond, you would think it's very racist because of the, it was the capital of the Confederacy or whatever, but most of the white dudes I hung out with, we were just trying to get drunk and party and shit.
I mean, I would think it's racist because I know white people from Richmond. That's why I would think it's racist. I didn't need it to be the capital for me to know.
Really? Yeah, because I know people from Richmond too. Like, anyone I hung out with was just trying to, like, drink and party and shit. If you left Richmond and got to, like, the farmlands outside, yeah, those white dudes out there were racist as fuck. But inside Richmond, it was mostly black people being racist against whites there. But since you brought up the Juggalo thing, I got stopped because I had a Hatchet Man on my bike riding home from work at like midnight. It's like 7 degrees out or something. I have a ski mask on and a Hatchet Man on my bike.
That's a terrible combination right there. That was just. I'm mad that you got stopped because I would have been shot.
7 degrees out.
Yeah, it didn't matter. They would have shot my ass. He said he stole something. Boom, he stole the bike. Boom.
Hold on. This is still. Who the fuck is stealing a pink bike with a pink Hatchet Man? Anyway, besides the point.
I was so tempted to turn on my camera for a second.
So a black cop stops me, tells me I need to take the ski mask off. Like, all right, I mean, I'm just riding home from work, you know, it's fucking freezing balls out here. It's like, yeah, we just had issues, blah, 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 bullshit. And I knew the people they had issues with. It's 7 degrees out, and I'm going home from work.
Yeah.
Then he points out the Hatchet Man on my bike. He's like, what's that about? Like, I don't know, it's just a record label I listen to. You know that's a gang, right? I listen to music. Like, if you want, I have a Grateful Dead sticker over here, you know? Like, whatever. And he gives me shit for it for a few minutes, tells me how it's a dangerous gang on watch list and this and that. Before, like, he tells me I can go, then he stops me, says whoop whoop, and shows me a Hatchet Man tattoo on his arm. And that just left me completely...
He just wanted to give you shit for the sake of giving you shit.
Yeah, he just wanted to fuck with me to see, like how I responded to it. And it's like, this is a cop who's a fucking juggalo, you know? Like...
Well, I mean, it's...
To me, juggalos aren't even about a gang. It, like...
I mean, it evolved. I think parts of it...
Well,
no, I think part of it evolved to that, though, Puma. Like, I think we have to recognize that there are some... I mean, it's just like anything. Like, I'm pretty sure the Black Panthers were never meant to be as militant as they ended up being, which is not a bad thing. But I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure...
They weren't.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, there were majority of the people there weren't like, yeah, we finna be some militant motherfuckers carrying guns down to Compton and shit like that. It evolved to that. Some of it, for at least with Black Panther, was kind of it was a necessity to evolve to that, to kind of like scare the shit out of people. But I mean, every time you have anything that's peaceful, at some point, like Buddhism is peaceful as shit, but in Myanmar, like, they are rounding up Muslims by the dozens and concentration camps and shit like it ain't nothing, and that's just one portion of them. That's not like the whole. So I feel like in any
they were never peaceful to begin with.
Hey, them white folks were sure did have some good ideas. They weren't lynching you at first. They didn't lynch you the first night. Now the second, third night, the second, third nights that they went out, then they meant to lynch us, but not the first night.
Not the first night.
Not the first night.
That was
But yeah, but I mean, again, I feel like it's just there are certain elements. There's just certain people that are more prone to violence. And if you know that you get in a position of power where you can control a massive amount of people, you're gonna do that. Because juggalos, like, for the most part, we pretty much listen to other juggalos. Like, we don't pay attention to regular people. Like, if you're regular, we just like, oh, that's nice. We just move on. Like, we don't have any issues with you. We just don't have shit to do with you. And so you have another one, especially if you're in a... Because I'm guessing the ones that started going towards more violent and more gang-like behavior were in areas where being a juggalo, like, you got a lot of shit for it. And at some point, one of them is like, I'm tired of this shit. I don't think it was ever... Like, I know that that wasn't the original intention of any of us.
The other problem I see with it, and I'm not trying to turn this into a straight juggalo conversation, but when it comes down to it, most of the real juggalos, like true juggalo family people I do respect, have been down for like 10, 15 years, actually listen to the original Joker cards and all that stuff. I'm thinking after they released The Wraith and that song Die Unveiling, totally denouncing everything they stood for and then still continued to try and make music and stuff, like, they completely lost their ways. There was a point in time where they had decent morals, decent values, decent messages and shit. Just
I mean, it may have been a little more violent, but
then it just became, you know what, fuck the carnival, fuck the butterfly, fuck 13.
Okay,
What now?
No.
I feel like Nia is lost in part of this conversation, and I'm so sorry.
No.
I don't mind. I'm learning.
Now, I'm curious. I did want to ask Jen, and I'm sorry we turned it to like a kind of Juggalo-esque conversation, but I'm curious, Jen, our lovely Satanist, what fucking problems have you had with police being, you know, white and female and white?
I was expelled from my school for attempted mass murder.
That's right. You would see again. I would have been shot. Like they think I had something. I would have been shot.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
our police, Nia goes. Nia's in the same place I'm at, and Nia knows that our police will just shoot you.
Yeah.
In school, in front of everyone, like it ain't shit. Just doom doom. He looked like he was pulling something, and we have black police, so.
See, you know me, Jay. I'm a law student. I know how to corrupt things and get around everything. I don't have trouble with the law because I'm able to discuss it with them and kind of talk my way out of shit.
That's that white privilege.
Unlike what black people would be able to do.
What black people would be able to do? Pray to their God before they got shot. Maybe. Any last words, nigger? Save me, Jesus. That's all you got.
You can
As
always
if you're
talk
lucky.
to me and I mean he answers.
But I don't know. I think there's a larger issue because I wanted to bring in, now that we brought in the issues with the police and how they, because I mean there's a lot of more issues we can go more in depth with as far as how the police treat the citizens. I wanted to bring up, there were two police officers. Excuse me. There were two police officers that were shot in Ferguson. They were not Ferguson police officers. They were surrounding area police officers. They had departments that came and helped. But fuck you too, Nia. Just mute yourself. But they were surrounding police departments, and they two got shot. One got shot in the face and went through the cheek, under the eye, and lodged in the ear somewhere. And another one got shot in the shoulder. But it was in front of the police department. And believe it or not, there was someone who was live streaming and recording the event. And right after, when I say right after, I mean right after it happened, the first thing that was screamed out by someone was, I think it was if you had never shot Mike Brown, or if you had indicted, Darren Wilson, whatever, in the first place, this would have never happened. Which I think to a degree is true. But I'm not sure how I feel about, because the police being shot, just because it wasn't those two police officers in general. And I have mixed feelings about the police, but I won't say that they deserve to be shot. At least not those two, because they did. Those two, as far as we know, as far as the shooter knew, unless the shooter knew something we didn't do anything. They were just there doing their job, trying to make sure no one gets hurt. And I mean, luckily, especially for the one that got shot in the face, he's alive, but still.
I'm going to tell you something.
I totally agree with you on that.
Shush.
Hold on, wait. We need to get an order to this. So since Nia looks like she's having difficulties, we're going to let her go last.
Wait, no, I just have one question. Are we talking about when the two cops got shot, or are we talking about...
We're talking about when the two cops got shot.
All right, cool. Just checking.
As you struggle with your hair. So I want... Because I'm going to just play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo here. I want Jen to go first because she's dancing. And that's entertaining to me. Give me one moment.
Puma.
All right, children. So Jen, how do you feel about the police officers being shot?
I'm going to quote my professor because he had a really good quote in class. Hindsight is always 2020. People jump down, and I'm not talking about just the Ferguson police. I'm talking about all police. People have a tendency of jumping down a cop's throat for doing something. I'm not defending police here because some of them, yeah, really do shit because they're assholes. Some of them, however, they have like a split second to make a choice. And in hindsight, it's like, oh, I fucked up. But in that split second, you can only process shit so fast in your brain. And they may have made the wrong choice, but in that split second, they actually had to make the choice and seemed like the best alternative. So hindsight is always 2020. And
Excuse me as I eat a cookie.
Yo, can you hold up the tip, Fred?
What's up?
I was asking if you could quit opening that bag of chips in the mic.
No, I'm sorry. I was opening a Chick-fil-A cookie. It tastes like homophobia.
he made the joke before I did.
It's like homophobic.
And homophobia has never tasted so good.
But anyway. What was I saying? I'm okay.
Jumping down cops'
Hindsight
throats.
2020.
Yeah. Maybe you need to put the bottle down. Put it down, Miss Winehouse. Put the bottle down.
Right,
Share the
2020.
love.
So,
I'm waiting for the hate we get for the Amy Winehouse joke.
I'm okay. I giggle a lot when I drink.
Everyone, I'll take that hit. That was my fault.
I'm still gonna hear help for it from napping.
But still. I mean, and I understand what you're saying as far as hindsight being 2020. And I have my own thoughts about it, but Nia, are you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, everyone. I want to present you. Wait. I want to present you to everyone. Nia Simone, featuring her complicated ass hair. Woo!
My personal opinion.
Watch her struggle.
I'm one of those people. I don't like anyone to die, and I know everyone's like violence. You know, most people will be like violence isn't the answer, and personally, I do not think it's the answer. I don't feel like anyone dying is justified by any means. So I know where the tension comes from, and I know exactly where the anger comes from, but personally, do I agree with it? No, I do not. Do I feel like it was necessary? In a way I do, only because it provides shock value to everybody, I think. And that's something that a lot of people need to experience. However, I'm just going to go off on a assume that a POC, a person of color, did it. And that being said...
Well, I mean, that was the first house they looked in. They raided a house of someone nearby who wasn't associated with it at all. And it was her child, her, and I want to say either the father or the grandfather.
Did they die?
Huh?
Did they end up getting killed?
No, they didn't. Like I said, because they broke in the house from the top, and then they also came in the house, from the front. And they kept banging on the door, and it was like 3 a.m, and no one knew what was going on. And they said, "Come out here. We know you're in here. We're not leaving until you come out." And as soon as she walks, it was her kid. As soon as they walk out, guns are drawn on them. They got the red dot on the kid and her, and it's just like it's very obvious she didn't do it. And I mean, they let her go, but it was still like, because the news, they reported as 3 people were detained. One of those 3 people was the child. And when I say child, I'm not talking about like teenager. I'm talking about not older than my youngest brother. Like, he's a little one. Everyone enjoying half of Puma's face and Jen's ears.
Happy Friday!
As she orders more liquor online.
Yeah, but
Oh, no, this came from my uncle's car.
All right. Anyway, Nia, what?
Yeah, I was just saying that I know, of course, they're going to assume that a person of color did it. And with that being said, you know, we had a lot of peaceful protesters, but it really only takes one to spoil the whole bunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And until everything goes violent, and that doesn't look very good on us. And I know a lot of us are going to try to justify it and say that it was okay simply because a lot of our own has been taken. But still, at the same time, I don't feel like I just don't agree with I don't agree with death. I don't agree with violence.
Look at
So
Nia. She's so peaceful. She's like the opposite of me.
yeah. So that's pretty much how I feel about it. Ultimately, I just want justice to be served. Like more so, I'm more so for POC because yeah, we've been wronged a lot, but I just want justice at the end of the day. That's what I want.
Mm. Um, Yo, Puma, what you think? Or did I disturb your
Yo,
porn watch?
you just went silent.
I said, Puma, what you think?
Nah, dude, I'm scraping into my laptop with an X-Acto blade.
Oh, you're not watching porn. I'm sorry.
Nah, nah, nah. Um,
No, I was coughing for.
all right.
I got a chocolate chip of homophobic slur stuck in my throat. I'm sorry.
Nice, nice, got it. Um, wow.
There
Oh.
was an update on that shooting, by the way. Really
Okay,
quick.
so
Puma.
Update.
now that I've formed,
Wait. Give me the update after Puma talks, because I know it.
But this
Struggle to
might
Puma.
help him. I just want to tell him something.
Okay, what's the update, darling?
Before you start talking, one, they were state police, not surrounding county police. It's state police.
Oh,
And
I can't tell. I mean, boys and blues to me.
yeah, so they were state police that were called in, and the guy is still at large. They have no idea who it is, though they've received over 120 tips.
It was the nigger. I'm sure that was what 100 of them were. And I'm sure they replied, "We know, we're on it. We're trying to find them. We'll kill them all if we got to." There's too many of them.
but if there's like 20,000 of them in the city, we got to take out 19,000 of them, and it'll be good.
An eye for 40,000. You know, niggers only count as half a person anyway. Anyway, so what do you think about it? It's so crazy because no one, like, you guys are the only people that can validate that I am a person of color, because no one's ever seen me. It's just sad.
I've seen you multiple times.
I don't know what you are. Green or purple, perhaps even blue. As long as you're not a blue meanie, I'm good. Anyway.
Nah,
so,
Nia's son
now that
seen
I've
me. She's
formed
touched my
actual-
brownness.
What?
I said no. I said you guys are the only people. I said it's sad because I'm making these jokes, but you guys are the only people that can validate that I am a person of color because no one has seen me. And then I said that he was like, I've never seen you because I forget Puma has never gotten the chance to see me, but I said that Nia has touched my brownness. She knows it's real. This is not blackface.
Well, I guess we know why you're keeping her in her closet. Are we still having that seminar on safe ramming?
No, we're not having a seminar on safe facial ramming. Oh my God, Nia, I keep forgetting you weren't prepared for that. Yeah. I think actually no, for the new year we will have the facial ramming seminar. Nia, I'll explain it to you later. But I know that Victor's into it, so
Sounds good.
he might want you to. Yeah, I think he wants you to
Then
ram
at
him.
some point in time, we will take care of this. We'll have our own seminar, all right, Jen?
Oh, good God. Record it for me. I need some entertainment. Anyway, so what did you think, Puma, about this here situation?
All right. I don't think I even have thoughts anymore, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's fucked up that they shot cops that are presumed.
No, we lost Puma.
it's okay because in his absence, happy Pie Day, everyone.
Yeah.
Yay!
Well, I guess.
He's getting
Oh shit!
done
Puma's
there,
back. Puma's back. Is he back?
but there's corruption all across the country. My eyes comes down to the fact too much power. Now, some of them
Puma doesn't even
can
know that
handle
he
the
just.
power, can handle their authority, and handle it well, and do a public service. However, a lot of arrogant assholes who were picked on in high school and maybe got wedgies every gym class and didn't lose
I
their
want a
virginity
gun.
until they become cops is where a lot of the problem lies here. We're letting straight up assholes become cops. However, there isn't really a safe and secure way to, test. Is this guy going to be a major douchebag, or is he going to actually be a fair pig? I mean, cop.
Oink oink, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute,
Yes,
that
yes.
statement's incorrect, because us nerds who are getting bullied are not dumb enough to become cops. We're not that strong. It's the jocks that are beating us up that are born assholes, grow up assholes, get their training on how to be assholes in high school that become cops.
Not counting if their parents are assholes and beat the fuck out of them and train them to be assholes.
Exactly.
But I mean, here's how I feel about this subject in general. Like, and this goes for, and this is so weird because Nia knows about me. I know Jen knows about me, and this may be a shocking statement compared to what Jen knows about me. Nia, don't do it. Don't light yourself on fire. No. You can't burn the black away. You're not Michael
No, you'll
Jackson.
burn more in.
Totally opposite thing I should do.
No,
Anyway.
so my feeling about this is this. I, believe it or not, and people that know me and know who's behind this here microphone understand that this is going to be very different than what I have practiced in the past. I, as a general rule, have never been one who favored violence. I've had to commit a lot of acts of violence as just a matter of situation. But I've never been one who's been particularly favorable when it comes to violence. With that said, I do believe that there's a time and place and certain things need to occur, like Nia said, for shock value. And it's very unfortunate that these two had to be the one who were on the wrong end of the barrel. But at the end of the day, bad shit happens. That is life. There are plenty of innocent people of color, not just African Americans, but Hispanics, and so on, and white people who are at the wrong end of the barrel when it comes to police brutality. So for anyone to take this big grieving moment for these police officers, but want to sit here and excuse the fact that day after day after day bodies are dropping that aren't talked about, because a lot of people don't know this. Just because it's in the TV, this isn't even a fraction of how many people actually drop dead due to police.
Exactly.
And again, this is not just just a person of color deal. It's not just for Latinos and African Americans. It's for white people as well, to a lesser extent, because a lot of white people, and if you look by numbers, it looks funny, but a lot of white people may not have to deal with this. But there are a great number of white people who do. Trust me, I know the ones around me have always had to deal with it, unfortunately. Because there have been some times where, like, very rarely, but I'll get off and they'll get hit with something. And you kind of like, they weren't even the one doing it. So when it comes to this, I really wish there was another way around it. But I believe we needed this violence. Because if it wasn't them, someone was going to find Darren Wilson. That was just, that was a given. And if somebody found him, you think somebody getting shot is terrible. Good Lord. We show you how to lynch somebody. Now that doesn't make it right, but that makes it the reality of the situation. Right. Yeah. Especially as it is. Again, I'm not gonna say it makes it right. I don't believe a lot of wars are right, but that's just the reality of how shit is. You gotta do what you gotta do. With that said, I also don't believe that like when we sit here and we use certain language in reference to these issues, though sometimes the way that we speak about issues, because again, we forget that this isn't just a black person's issue. Because stop and frisk didn't just affect black people; it affected white people to a lesser extent, but Hispanics and blacks were affected the most. And while we sit here and we squabble amongst each other, racially against racial lines, and even within our own races, subdividing it about who has it the worst, they're sitting there doing whatever the fuck they want to. So, well, I'm saying like when as races, as when we sit here and we have these discussions and the complaints about who has the worst between Latinos and Puerto Ricans versus the Mexicans and all this, and black people saying, well, we had this, and while we sit here and squabble over who has it the worst, police officers and those who are white and are in charge, and those who are black and who side more with white sensibilities, and not all white sensibilities, but racially skewed white sensibilities, are sitting here doing whatever the fuck they want to, because we're too busy arguing amongst each other. Oh, I have it this bad, and y'all don't know nothing about this. Who gives a fuck? Bad shit happens to people. We need to get the fuck over it and make it stop. It's very simple.
I personally haven't witnessed that, especially when it comes to Latinos and black people. They side with one another more than anyone, because if anyone, okay, so how it goes is.
Well, I just want to point out, like, this is your experience, because I can give a whole other side of this. So I just like to point out, for those who may get angry, this is Nina's experience. But you got to remember, she comes from one of the most fucked up states in the land, so they got to stick together. They don't have much of a choice.
So really, okay, so nationwide, I can say this. I can say this though. Nationwide, Asians are pretty much considerably the best out of the minorities, right? Because they're viewed as, they're viewed as those that are, the smartest. They're the ones who wind up doing rocket science, and they're the psychologists and the doctors and the surgeons, while, blacks and Latinos are usually the worst pick of the bunch, because Latinos are here, most of them are here illegally, and they don't know how to speak correctly.
Hey. Don't talk about my brothers like that. They're not here illegally. They're just here on borrowed green cards.
That's why I did this.
Borrowed.
I'm putting out the stereotype. But, yeah, and they want to say that Latinos aren't as smart either. And then you have black people who, apparently they don't know how to speak. They're disrespectful. They smell. They live in the worst conditions, So... Yeah. Between us two, if anyone were to want to, I guess, band together, it would be us two racial groups.
It would seem like it should be.
I feel like all of us should be working together, because usually, if Asians will pretty much stay out of our way, they don't want to be put in the same situation as us. And I mean, but also. All minorities, and we're all in this together. You know what I mean? So.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Now wait a minute. Back during World War II, the Asians had it worse than any minority. We basically had concentration camps.
There's no basically, they were. We said, get in there, you Chinks, and we put them in there, you Japs. And I mean, it was mainly Japanese people, but even before that, when the Chinese were coming in, we had the Chinese Exclusion Act or whatever. That was 1800s, 1900s, 19th century, which was just like
people in concentration camps.
No, I'm not saying that Asians have not been treated badly at all. I'm saying in this present
time, I mean, your likelihood of negative stereotypes are way down.
Wait. I have a song about this.
Oh God, no, not right now, Jen. Please no.
But it's
not
not
right
a
now.
Martian song.
Not right now, Jen.
But it's your favorite Martian song.
Not right now, Jen.
Okay.
We have a timetable to keep up. So next topic. Speaking of concentration camps. Next topic I actually want to talk about. I'm so sorry that I made the joke. Not really. But I wanted to talk about the latest visit by Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu, who is the on-again, off-again Israeli prime minister. It's kind of like an abusive relationship. Abusive in the fact that he keeps coming back and they keep wondering why. But by the time they realize they're getting abused, it's too late. And they've already elected him again. He came in and Congress Congress invited him for a speech. Right? And keep in mind, this is a head of a foreign state. They did not tell the White House. They did not give a memo to the White House. I think the White House had to find out through some other channels, but they found out right around like the last minute for the event. But Benjamin Netanyahu didn't say anything to them about, hey, I'm coming to speak to your Congress. There was none of that. He came, he spoke, and this is after, and this is again to derail the Iranian nuclear peace talks, because if y'all didn't know, according to Benjamin Netanyahu's clock, for the past 20 years, Iran has been about a year away from building a nuclear bomb.
For 20 years.
20 years. And I would just like to point out that when the fuck are they going to build this bomb? Like, if no one has done shit to you for 20 years, you've had the time to build this bomb. You are just lazy terrorists. Just hand in your a la carte, please. You don't deserve it. You cannot be a martyr if it takes you 20 years to build one bomb. Or this bomb better be like the biggest fucking bomb possible. But yeah. And he came and he spoke, and again, it was more bagging on how there's no good deal with Iran, because if, for those who don't know, the whole issue with the nuclear thing is Iran wants to have a peaceful nuclear energy program. Now, this is on the heels that after Iran has said that if they ever got a nuclear bomb, Israel is being wiped off the fucking map. But so far, for the past 20 years that they've been 1 year away, they haven't blown Iran off the map. So I would assume that maybe, just maybe, they want it for peace for now.
We lost Puma.
I saw. But he came, he talked to...
His camera off.
Okay. So he came and he talked to Congress, and there was this big thing across party lines. Majority of Democrats did not go. They boycotted the event. Obama even said this would be a bad deal. Another element to it is the fact that he had an election coming up, and his poll numbers are like, eh. And so there is a thought that maybe he was using America as
means to get him
reelected. It's just, good promotion. There was also another issue, the fact that he called out Obama for this being a bad deal and whatnot. But the Obama administration has given more than any other administration to Israel.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even though, it's probably under the threat of being considered anti-Semitic because he's already black, so God forbid. There's so many issues with this, because I already have an issue with the state of Israel and the Palestine issue. Like, I have so many problems with how that went down entirely, with a whole bunch of Jews saying, "Hey, we're here now. We want a state because Holocaust. We earned this. This is our promised land that God gave to us and everyone else." Like 3 other major religions, all like Old Testament, like same area. And then the UN was like, yeah, sure, we're just going to take this land from these people, and not even split it like halfway. Like, they split it in this weird, really weird way that displaced so many people. And then there were so many wars, and Israel's like, no, this is still our land because God. And now Palestinians barely have anything, and they're still saying this is our land because God. It's just, the whole situation is wrong. But they have the land now, so fuck it. Nothing we can do about it at this current point. If 7 Arab nations couldn't do shit about it, there's nothing that anyone's going to do about it, because they don't play.
I mean, we at least have bombs. That's all I can really say on that
It's
subject.
like we drop bombs. We drop bombs, or you give us your land. Those are your options. Welcome to
Why do we
America.
want their land? Don't we want it for
Oil.
Oh yeah, that's why we want Arabs' lands. I mean, of course, oil, Arabic land, man.
I'm
Um,
point something out, Jay.
what as Nia struggles.
Right. So there's been studies done into, the Old Testament and all that. And these studies suggest that ain't even their fucking promised land. There is, this delta on the tip of the, Indian Ocean over by Asia that's actually meant to be their promised land.
Which
According to
again
their
is a long-ass way away from home. Or at least what they stole is home.
According to, the way they describe shit and where they've discovered certain ruins and certain landscapes, they should be closer to Asia, not closer to, Egypt. In fact, there's no record of them ever being in Egypt to begin with.
Excuse me for a second if I don't respond and sound super duper attentive. I'm working on as an admin and banning people.
That's okay. But yeah, there is no proof of them ever even being enslaved, being in Egypt. The Egyptians don't have a fucking clue where that actually came from. If you look at their history, they don't exist in their history whatsoever. And
But at least their version of their history.
And surrounding nations that did trade with Egypt at the time don't even make a mention of there being Jewish slaves anywhere. They're just not. None of the nations that did business with
you also have to keep in mind, even though we're pointing this out, history is kind of skewed by religion. Because if you follow religion, we still count as before Christ, and it's not after death, it's Anino Damni, which is in the year of our Lord, which is technically after his death. But our time is skewed by that, and it was only because believe it or not, that wasn't changed until later on, way later. Because some pope was I forgot what the situation was, but he just needed a way to skew years. And so he just changed the entire way history has accounted since then. We put Jesus and not only the Jews thing, but Jesus and the New Testament, all that, in our history books and treat it as historical fact, down to the letter as historic. I was in history, I was in world history when I was younger. I was in honors world history, and I was learning about how Moses parted the sea. And it was in my state textbook. Brand new state textbook, I mind you.
that was never in my textbooks.
So I just like to point out that, Tennessee, and it was technically Fort Campbell, but I'm just saying, history, again, there was a pope who changed the entire way that... But I'm just saying, there's an entire way that time has been, history was counted that was completely skewed because a pope was I need to fix some shit, but I don't want to explain some shit. I'm not Domini. Here, our Lord. I'm just gonna fuck up history forever, completely. And even when science tried to step in and do the BCE and ACE, the before Common Era and after Common Era, it still runs on the BCAT timetable. That's why and even the Jewish calendar is off as shit. Because they're in the 3000s right now, which is still off. Really, really off.
They're 3,000 years in the future? No wonder they're all fucking rich. They're not.
I knew it's fucking coming.
They just knew that what's going to happen. They're living 3,000 in the future. Everything's already happened. That's how they're making these bets and winning their money.
Yeah, but to get back to the topic, how do you feel? Because I really do feel like this was one propaganda play by Netanyahu.
People, send them back to Germany.
By Netanyahu, but two, I have a real major issue with the fact that Congress, still Republican controlled and all that, was this is a good idea, and no, we're not going to back down. The president has asked us, please, hey, don't do that. But no, can't do anything for Obama. Obama's terrible. Secret Muslim from Kenya, Indonesia. Gah! Like, we can't let him have any way, including not having a foreign head of state that we didn't get approved by the head of our country come and speak to us about how Iran is still, like, 1 year away from a fucking bomb. Still. In 2015. 1 year away, and we lost Puma.
And I think he's going to bed. He's got to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning for work. He's got to be super early. At least like 5 o'clock in the morning to go.
But Nia, as you struggle with your hair, I would just like to point out to every white person, this is black people hair struggles. Nia, how do you feel about this?
Well, I don't know too much about our relations with Iran and over there. I am aware
You
that
consider them terrorists.
the whole issue. No, I personally feel that no, it's not even a personal deal. America is home of the terrorists. I don't know why we just won't put that out on the table already, but America's home of the terrorists.
Because no country wants to sit here and say we're terrorists. Like, no one wants to be like, yeah, we're terrorists. Like, no one's gonna be like, yeah, that's us. But I mean, it depends on which side you're looking at. Because if you're in America, especially if you're a soldier, you're doing your job. To people in the Middle East, especially innocent civilians being killed, you're a terrorist. I mean, it's all about perspective. But at the end game, are you terrorizing someone? Yes, you are a terrorist. Are you knowingly terrorizing someone and using it to profit? Yes, you are a terrorist.
But we're doing the same thing.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which perspective, because it matters what you're doing. In America, it knows that it's considered a superpower and uses that weight to throw around and scare the shit out of other smaller countries. You're terrorizing them.
Apply to that, then
we just invade you.
And then we want to try to institute democracy, which is pretty much our form of Christianity, our way of
we're gonna force you into our fold.
That's how we use democracy. That's exactly how we use democracy. It's a way to convert other people so that they'll do things our way.
Guys, I have a message from Puma.
I saw his internet died.
No, his internet did not die. He was adopted. He was taken.
Put the bottle down, Miss Winehouse.
He was taken by the Secret Service ninjas to go get Clinton's cat's socks out of a tree.
Please put the bottle down.
The bottle is down. It's over there. See? No bottle.
Please let the bottle go farther away. We are not sponsored by Mike's Hard.
Yes, we are.
Unless you're talking about a drunk guy named Mike who got hard listening to my voice, then we're sponsored by him.
Wait. If we're gonna do this,
Wait. I just want to. Mia's face when I said that was priceless. She was just, I'm disgusted. The more and more she hears me on the podcast, the more and more she's disgusted with me. I think I'm going to lose a friend. But no, hey, Drunk Jen, what do you think?
First, to finish with the joke we started, I'm not always a demonic Satan worshipping fairy that drinks, but when I am, I choose Mike's Hard Lemonade.
And she has, okay, put the bottle down, Miss Winehouse.
That joke got old like 3 jokes ago.
Yeah, but it's the only person I know to describe you because you look like you're finna drink yourself to death. And you're only on 1 bottle.
I told you I get happy when I drink.
You're such a lightweight.
No, this is what happens when I drink beer.
Nia doesn't drink and she could probably outdrink you.
No, trust me. I just get really happy. And
you don't drink like we drink, Nia, so you don't drink.
This is what happens when I drink beer. I don't drink beer, ever. I drink martinis, tequila. I've done tequila shots. Those are fun.
Okay.
And then I went and set off fireworks, but that's another story.
So everyone, Jen's drunk, and Puma's gone. So
I'm not drunk. Anyway. Wine... The dude...
What do you think about All right, Israeli Prime Minister came without the approval of the White House and the President to go speak to Congress after he was invited by Congress, who also did not get the approval of the White House. Is it okay or no?
1 second. According to my African American national, I'm not even sure what class I'm taking anymore. I'm supposed to be in American National Government History. My teacher, sweet lady, absolutely sweet, got us a textbook that is solely about black African American history.
Because you're in an African American class.
I've actually learned nothing. We're supposed to learn about the Constitution. I couldn't tell you 3 things about the Constitution because we spent half of class looking up pictures.
A drunk!
Hold on, there is a point to this.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes, there is a point to this. So,
What people
she taught us in class, and one of the few things she actually taught us about our government. The president can't actually do jack shit. His only real job is to veto bills and talk to the army. He is technically the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah,
The president's
so
no power.
Congress can do whatever the fuck they want. Really, they...
I mean, I know that, but it does feel as though they're kind of usurping the respect of the office, because the president is also supposed to handle foreign affairs. There's a foreign head. No, that's a foreign head of state. He's the only one that can make. He's the only one that can make treaties with foreign heads. He's foreign head of state.
No, he does not
That's
actually
head of state.
He signs off on the treaties. Congress makes the treaties.
Yeah, but you still can't do shit if president doesn't say, yeah, cool, and put that signature on it. You're kind of dead in the water.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if the president, let's put it like this, the Congress can say whatever the fuck they want to Iran, because they sent a letter to Iran. If the president says fuck you to Iran, then it's really bad. If the Congress does, it's just kind of like, eh.
But
Like, at the end of the day, even in technicality, the office itself lends itself to power. Just the name president, just that title itself lends yourself to more power than you may technically have.
True.
he doesn't have any power. Like, he really only has 4 actual abilities in office. That's it. 4.
But I'm just saying, you have to understand his influence has power. If the president says fuck you to a country, there is nothing Congress can do. Like, the Congress can try, but when the president says fuck you, it's going to mean a lot more than Congress saying fuck you.
I think we all need to stop kissing the president's ass. I don't care if he's black, white, or purple unicorns with spots.
He'll never be that dark.
Don't even that. It's not important.
The point is, really, they're just kissing his ass. And on some level, the Republicans telling him to fuck off with shit, it's about time somebody knocks the president off.
Jen's not allowed to drink anymore in the podcast because clear and decisive points don't come out of Jen. Continue.
This is a clear, decisive point. The Republicans...
You hear a clear, decisive point. I hear it's time for Jen to go sleep. It's time for her to go night-night.
Right.
I love you too, Jen, but you're with Puma.
Yes, I am, and you're too young for me.
Yeah. Oh well.
I am not a cradle robber. Or a cougar, or a pedophile.
But I'm a bad motherfucker. Anyway,
Anyway, the president, even though he didn't approve it, he doesn't have to approve it. If they want to invite someone in to speak in front of them, they have the right to.
I never said he had to prove it. It's a well-known fact. It's a well-known fact.
In there in the first place. So what's the benefits of inviting him in? Like, just run that by me. What are the benefits of inviting him in?
Usurp the respect of the office of the President of the United States. Say fuck you to the President. Say fuck you to the President. Say fuck you to that nigger. Say fuck you to the President. Sorry, I was just running down the Republican agenda. That's not really the benefits.
Okay,
The benefits of it is proving they still have a voice over him.
Yeah, they've kind of fucked up our country to a degree with no laws getting passed. So I think they've proven the extent. I'm just saying, I think they've proven the extent of their power to fuck up shit. Like, we well aware that anytime Congress wants to, they can fuck up something.
Right, and
They've
whether
proven
it
that.
doesn't matter whether or not the president doesn't have any technical power. I don't care about that. If the president has something in mind in which you know something's not cool, I feel like that should be
He
acknowledged.
kind of sets the tone for foreign policy.
He obviously has a reason for being like, I don't think that's a good idea. So for the Republicans to be just like, and we're gonna let him in anyway, just to piss off the
Say
president,
fuck you.
that's pretty much jeopardizing our country, don't you think?
Not only that, I would like to point out before we go to that, I would like to point out that I would like to put in this for terms for Drunk Jim. This is my channel. You have access to my channel, just like the Congress has access to the government of the United States. They're kind of a part of it, but they're not the whole damn thing. You're a part of the channel, but you're not the whole damn thing. At the end of the day, treat me like the president of this fucking channel. I still got to write off on certain shit. I give you a lot of power, but I still have to write off on certain shit.
By the way,
That's
I
like-
don't have access to the channel. That computer blew up, and all of the information went with it.
I'll fix that. But that's like you. 1 second, please. 1 second. God. 1 second, please.
But anyway, to clarify your point, they could have legitimately just been trying to figure out what the fuck is going on over there and get a first-hand account from one point of view. There is no reason not to invite a foreign leader over to
Sorry,
ask
someone
him
just brought
what
me
he's
my
doing.
Coke.
Mm-hmm.
So
Alright,
yeah,
that's pretty much all I wanted to know. Like, if we're just, as long as there's a point, because if there's absolutely no point to inviting him in other than to just be like,
You're just being a
listen, I
dick.
used to have power, then yeah, you're jeopardizing the country. That's totally immature and uncalled for, and that's not
Well,
acceptable.
that's what I'm saying. Like again, getting back to, because excuse me, my Jorge was bringing in my kilo. I'm sorry, guys. But if Jen decided to just like up in one day, and let's say I've been here consistently because I know I haven't, but let's say up in one day, she decided to just invite someone else to come host a podcast for one day without letting me know, just like replace me. That's kind of like a dick move. Well, see, there was a difference. I wasn't there. But I'm saying, let's say I was there consistently, and one day there's another nigga saying the intro, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this? And you're like, I invited him. He's coming to speak today. And I was like, I didn't know shit about this.
Oh no, I need you. I need you. That's.
But I'm just saying that's kind of what it's like. Like, it's a dick move for no reason. Like, we understand you have authority and power. It doesn't mean it's like having a dick. We understand you have one. You don't need to pull it out and wave it around for everyone to see it. We know.
I mean, that's exactly like what you said, Jen. You said that you need Joe, right? So, but the Republicans feel like, no, we don't need him. We don't need the president. We need a new
God
president.
damn it, Nia, you're letting more of my government name out. Fuck.
Are you sure that's your government name?
Probably.
See, if you hadn't said anything, then no one would have assumed it.
My name is Joe the Ho. That is all.
Thanks, Jonah.
But no, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, again, I treat Congress in their powers is kind of like a dick. Like, we don't need you to see you wave it around. We know you have one. You've shown it. It's not impressive. It's like, it's still not going to match the president's. It's not impressive. So could you please put it away? Because at any time Obama really wanted to, he could have waved his dick around. He was just kind of like, can you guys please not? Like, let's do this at home, not at Olive Garden. Let's not. Like, this is just terrible. I mean, I'm not going to say that legally it was wrong. I'm going to say that from a strategic standpoint, it's terrible. We're in peace talks with Iran, and you're going to bring someone that Iran obviously doesn't like to come speak to them. And then on top of that, just recently, they wrote a letter to Iran. Just stupid shit, really. And again, when I say Congress, we're talking about the Republicans, because again, majority of Democrats said, no, we're not going to go to this shit. And then the few that were there, and a few Democrats were there, felt like he was basically calling us stupid when he was there. Like, he was very subtly and nicely. It's like subtle racism. He was calling us stupid. So he was there. He was an asshole while he was there. This isn't his country. We don't owe him shit. We're not Germany. We don't owe him shit. I personally don't see why his ass couldn't have stayed over there.
Because his ass would have been blown up over there.
But I'm just saying, like he wanted to use this as a propaganda point. Go pull out the numbers that the fucking massive amounts of money and armor and weapons we throw at you, so you can protect yourself from the small, like insignificant arms, at least insignificant compared to what they have, compared to what Israel has in Palestine. Look at the fact that our president is giving you more money, and any time you can spend that to say he's giving me more money for the protection of Israel. But you don't need to bring your ass over here. You especially don't need to sit here. I think he was here for like a few days before and after the speech. Like, there was no reason for him to stay that long. Come the day of, leave the day of. Get your ass the fuck out.
Do we actually have the official transcripts from that meeting?
What, from the speech? I mean, the speech is live, but if the YouTube thing's not working, I'm not going to show it to y'all because,
Yeah, we can't see it.
Yeah, that's the problem. But no, again, like I just feel like he was such a bitch for that. There was no need for that at all. Israel has enough propaganda fodder. He doesn't need to come over here and then not only come over here, but then again, basically, because I also watched it after the fact, basically called her stupid.
We need to just get rid of Israel altogether, but that's just, my view.
I mean, I can't say that. I feel like Israel could have been done in a lot better way than, I don't know, awkwardly splitting up a country.
Yeah, we could have just built them a sandy island next to the Bahamas. Then they would have been wiped out by a hurricane and we wouldn't have any issues.
Yeah, I don't think the Jews would go for Bahamas. It might be too pricey for them. But, next topic.
Sorry.
What you say?
I said that's genocide, sorry.
Oh, hey. They used the genocide card to get that place. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Exactly. And
they used it after the fact too. Like it wasn't immediately after. It wasn't immediately after the Holocaust. It was years down the line. We want this because we want this. Okay. But and then they go on a genocidal like little tirade with Palestine. Like that's okay. But next topic so that we can get out of this shit and wrap up for a second. The Clinton scandal
was bullshit.
Miss Hillary, yeah, but I mean, for a little background, Miss Hillary Clinton, who's amazing, and by amazing I mean the fact that she's still with Bill and he's still alive. That's love right there. So, Hillary Clinton, it's come out that she used, just like her predecessors, she used her personal email for official, because she was Secretary of State, so official business, which again is pretty much the standard practice. It's not supposed to be, but it's the standard practice for a lot of the secretaries of state before her. And as they said, it's just for convenience, which really is they're lazy, but it's not doing anything. A lot of the concerns that came out of this is, one, Benghazi got brought up because they said, well, what if she, because this, Secretary of State, she dealt with foreign heads of state and whatnot. So they're saying, what if she's trying to cover up something from Benghazi? So she released something like a few, I think it was in the tens or hundreds of thousands of emails that weren't, anything related to business. She kept her personal stuff, but anything related to business, she just gave it to him. And that's not enough, but they're still saying she may have tried to cover up something from Benghazi. And they're also saying that it could have been a security breach because, obviously they're not a whole bunch of personal, when you go, like I could get into someone's Gmail pretty easily. They also had the issue with the fact that not only was she using it from her personal email, but at her house she had a personal router and everything, like a personal deal to go through. And so everyone's, first of all, it's not technically illegal. But everyone's having a bitch fit about it. So I'm curious what y'all think, because she released hella emails, and it's going to take forever to go through them. And I really feel like this is just a desperate attempt to stop, because she may say if she decides to run, but we know that Hillary Clinton is going to run. Because I'm pretty sure that the white woman's kind of bitter that she got beat out by the black dude in 2008. Just like she's like we're still shooting niggers in the street. How the fuck did he win? Like I'm pretty sure she's really mad at the fact that she went and then he was like, well, we'll make you Secretary of State. You're not going to be president, but you could be Secretary of State. But I mean, realistically, we know, even beyond my jokes, we know that she's going to run.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, if she decides to run. But I feel like that's just an attempt by conservatives and Republicans to kind of like put a stop to that. Because I really feel like we've already had. They want to say we've already had one black. We can't have a woman. It's just too soon. So Nia, how do you feel about Hillary Clinton being lazy, basically?
Well, you said that most of the Secretary of States usually do that anyway. So in that sense, I don't understand what's the deal. In its entirety, I feel like it's pretty much false, a bad move, on everyone's part who does that. But yeah, people have been kind of like trying to take stabs at Hillary, ever since she expressed her desire to become president or to run for president.
No, that's if she runs.
Yeah, even with her, if she decides to run, even with that, they've still been trying to take steps, try to talk her out of it and be like, are you sure this is something you really want to do? I mean, she's a woman, so people are automatically going to be trying to say stuff like that to, deter her in the first place. So,
but I think you also have to look at the last name she's attached to. Like, she is still married to the second president ever to be impeached.
True, but people still like Bill Clinton, though.
Oh, I love Bill Clinton. I'm mad that they even got mad at him for lying. It's like, look, the man got hit in the White House, and obviously he doesn't want to put he don't want to put the reason he's finna get divorced out there for the public. Leave him alone. She consented to giving head. She knew what she was doing.
So, I mean, with that being the case, Bill Clinton is still pretty much a very likable, ex-president. And her situation, you think more people would like her for the fact that she even decided to stay with him. You know what I mean? So,
stayed with him and didn't kill him.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I really don't think her last name would defame her by any means at all. I think it's simply the fact because she's a woman who has interest in possibly deciding to run for president.
If she decides to run. Well, no, I mean, again, I wouldn't think that either because, again, Bill Clinton to me, even though certain people don't like him, Bill Clinton to me is still one of the best presidents there has been. Bill Clinton is that dude. He sits there, he's chill. He doesn't really care about much. He just wants everyone to get along. And he wants a little head in the Oval Office. That's all he wants. He didn't mean to leave a stain on the dress, but I mean, he tried to tell her spitters are quitters several times. But no, it's still used because it still is a scandal, and he did technically lie, even though I don't feel like that was, oh my God, the president lied about getting head in an extramarital affair, which isn't illegal. Everyone would lie about that. I think unless you're in a really awesome relationship, and your girl is just going to be like, yeah, that's okay. Every dude's going to be like, nah, I ain't do nothing. Please don't kill me. So, yeah, but it's still used. It's still, and they brought up, I was watching Fox because I hate myself. And they were bringing up how her family's always steeped in scandal and investigations. And I'm like, so just because her husband lied about getting head, she's going to be hiding shit about Benghazi? I was like, those things don't equate.
Right.
Dead people and dead DNA don't equate.
Yeah, no.
But Jen, what do you think about it?
I think it's all bullshit. Just
Would
the
you be Bill Clinton's fluffer?
no.
Poor Bill.
But she openly put everything out there that she did send in emails, and I want to know, we have such a shitty government to begin with. Was the internet just down that day? Like, maybe the government email was just down.
Well, no, I mean, she still admitted, though. Like, she was like, yeah, I did it. And then, because she never tried to hide it in the first place. Like, I guess there was just this general assumption by the public that she didn't. But I'm pretty sure that Obama has snuck, like, personal phone calls and stuff that just hasn't been recorded. Like, we used to, I don't know if y'all remember it. Well, y'all won't remember this, but I don't know if y'all remember from, like, history class and whatnot. Because I personally follow history. But we've had presidents who have lost their Secret Service agents just to go like get food or go ride around. Like they would just disappear. So if you're telling me, and those were some of the presidents that had some of the best approval ratings and whatnot. So if you're telling me Obama isn't just going to try to take a break for a day, and what's next? You're going to get on him because he drove somewhere without the Secret Service? Like, look, the man wanted a break. She wanted to be lazy, which I mean, it doesn't really bother me, and she wanted to use her personal email. I mean, whether someone got those emails or not is really a moot point, because as Anonymous and other hacker groups have proved, you can shut down government sites. You can hack government emails. There's nothing you can do about it. Though having a government email may make it harder, at the end of the day, if someone really wants it, they will take it. So while they're sitting here throwing a fit about what people could have, how about we look at the documents that she sent and see if she really did something? I don't believe she did. Because if I was a person who actually did something, I sure as hell wouldn't have given out as many emails as she did. Because I'm pretty sure if they subpoenaed like her email, so they asked to have access to her personal account, she'd give it to them. It's Hillary fucking Clinton. Like, she didn't have any. The only thing she had to hide, an impeachment trial put out. So she didn't really have anything else to hide for the people. Oh. But no, I mean, this is just, like I said, I feel like it's a desperate attempt to stop Hillary Clinton. Nia's doing drugs. So anyway, Jen, did you have anything you wanted to bring up?
No.
Are you going to put the bottle down?
Bottle's in the trash can.
Are you going to go get another bottle?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
That hangover's going... Oh, never mind. I don't think you're going to have a hangover.
I never get hangovers. I'm good. I'm just
okay.
That light happiness that I get. This is why I only ever drink one. It makes me light and happy.
I think you're not a little more than light happy. I think you're fucked up.
I'm light and happy. I'm good.
Nia, did you have anything you in particular wanted to bring up? We got like as long as you want to kill, you know. What you want to bring up? Do you want to bring up the struggles of your hair that we've been chronicling over the entire episode?
No. There's something that I had heard one of us mention, and it was very subtle. It was very little, but
What did I say?
I never said it was you.
I know it was me.
Just briefly, I just want to touch on it briefly. The whole reverse racism thing. I want to know what you guys feel about that.
Actually, I was going to ask that. It's a good thing you asked that because I don't have to ask questions anymore. See, Nia's smart. She's not true. I don't know. I feel like it's just, I won't say it's just as much, but it can be just as much of an issue as, you know, racism. Because I don't even like the term reverse racism. It's just like, it's just racism. Like, it's reverse in the fact that socially it is not thought of, you know, to see white people being you know, prejudiced against. But it happens. I mean, we have a lot of prejudices in our own, you know, separate communities, being Latino and being black, and you have little separate ones. You have light skin and dark skin, and depending on which Hispanic group you fall into, you have those issues. So even though we may not socially think of it as a thing or think of it as common, it can be in certain places, especially, just as common as what we would consider, regular racism. I mean, it's just kind of like every time they make a new fucking thing of Lucky Charms, the marshmallows are a different shape. It's still marshmallows, but it's special marshmallows now. It's like, no, it's still fucking Lucky Charms.
I'm really mad at Trix because their stuff doesn't look like fruit anymore. It's just little balls now. Like, no, who wants to eat that? But anyway, continue.
You don't want to put balls in your mouth, do you?
I absolutely do not.
Not even fruity ones? I have 3 boxes of Twix in there. I have no problem putting fruity balls in my mouth. I said that live on air. Man, it's gonna get me killed one day.
As regards to what I think, I don't know. Did Jen want to say something? I don't want to feel like I'm like in charge of this right now. I feel like I have too much power.
So I have to be your Congress. It's okay. No, you could. This is your topic. You brought it up. You can ask whoever to speak. When you bring up the topic, you can take however long you want to speak. So, which is why I take long as fuck to speak, because I bring up the topics.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know Jen like that, so I don't really feel like I can tell her to do anything.
Hey, yo, Jen.
Yes.
I can speak about the topic that Nia so graciously put out for us.
Racism is racism. I mean, in this country, I'm not going to say there's a majority of white people in this country. So racism is considered anything that's not white. You go to the Middle East, though, we're a minority, and people are racist. And that's considered racist. There's no reverse racism. It's just flat out racism.
I know. I feel weird saying y'all a minority, because to me, Jewish people are white. Like, unless they're very distinctly Middle Eastern.
I'm talking about
Jewish,
like good old.
Well, I'm just saying when you go to the Middle East, to me, again, Jewish people look white to me. Like when I go over if I ever go over to Israel or Saudi Arabia, which I probably never will visit Saudi Arabia because I'm dead on the spot. But to me, those who are from the Middle East, for the most part, like no matter what your religion is, I can't really tell the difference. But when you get into certain parts, like especially in Israel, those Jewish people just look like white people. That's why I have trouble with the term Jew being used in reference to race, because most of the ones that are using that are either just white people who are Jewish, or they are Arab people who are Jewish, who look just like everyone else in the Middle East, with the exception of the white Israelis. So that's why I have a problem with you saying that they were a minority, because the Jewish people are like bougie, light-skinned black folk.
Jewish
like
people,
you're still black.
There. I'm talking like Africa, Egypt, those places. You can't.
You do know the only part of the Middle East that is Africa is Egypt.
No, Egypt is like Egypt likes to be like its own little thing.
No, Egypt is the bougie. Egypt is the bougie, light-skinned people, the black of Africa. There's like, we're not African. We're Middle Eastern. Like, no, you're on the continent. Like, you're attached. You can't detach yourself from the continent.
They can try. I'm sure they'd figure out a way. They built the pyramids. I'm sure they can figure out how to cut a piece of land out.
It's like, we don't want to be attached to the rest of us. We just want this one square. This like they're gonna block off part of the sea, like this one square. But I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as elsewhere, just in general, elsewhere, white people. Okay, elsewhere, not including Europe and Russia. White people being the minority, and Australia. We have to exclude Australia because Australia is it's a clusterfuck. There's no reason that there should be so many white people there, but they're there.
Right.
But yeah, it's just racism, and no matter who it's against, it's wrong. I mean, you guys could make a whole bunch of white jokes. I don't give a fuck. I'll laugh. I don't care. I mean, yeah, come on. I know you got something up in that little head of yours.
Because you're basic, Jen.
Yo, I had a woman at work tell me that, and I didn't know what it meant, and I had to call Eric. I'm like, what does this mean? Did she just try and insult me?
The
And
small
then I
child
found
you
out
keep
what
in
that
your
actually
basement has a
meant.
letter for you.
I didn't know what that meant.
Maybe you should feed him.
I feel bad that I don't know what that meant. Like, he had to sit there and he was confused for explaining that to me, too. I did not know what that meant.
Because we assume that since you are basic, you knew what basic is. Nia, it's your turn to talk.
Well, what I need everyone to understand is that reverse racism is not a thing. You guys are right, it is racism, except what you guys are getting wrong is the fact that you guys are saying that racism is prejudice. Racism is not prejudice. Racism is a systematic version of oppression, okay? Black people cannot oppress whites, and Hispanics cannot oppress
Yes,
whites.
I can. I make Jen work for me for free. Jen does a shit ton of work, and she does it for free.
Okay, you're either joking or you're bullying someone. Bullying, it can turn into a form of oppression, but
well, I mean, you have to understand when I use the term prejudice, I'm not saying that racism and prejudice are one and the same. I'm saying that they pretty much generally fall in line. Like, if you have certain prejudices, 9 times out of 10 you're racist. Like, depending on what it is, you kind of fall in line. Like, if you have a group of people that are kind of like they have some issues with blacks, 9 times out of 10 you're a racist. Now for the one section out of 10 that are not, you're probably Korean shop owners during the Watts riots and didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I'm sorry for you.
It's just that people feel like, oh, well, in order for me to be racist, that means I have to hate a certain racial group, right? That is not what that means. That doesn't mean that you show outward hatred for a group. But
I mean, I do, but it doesn't mean you have to.
Especially if you choose to ignore racism, you're being racist. Because the simple fact that it does exist and you're pretending like it doesn't, that's an issue. If you pretend,
I think it's a guilty by association deal.
I think if you treat racism as if it doesn't exist, like, oh, all races are the same, and there's only really one race, and you'll be like, that's a human race, that's racist. These things don't exist. Things have happened in the future to make races. And honestly, until Europe came to own slaves, there was no white, there was no black. Everybody was just doing their own thing. Europeans used the term black to oppress people who were of a different color, of a darker color than they were, so that they would feel lesser. So white was pure and black was not. Black was dirty, defiled, disgusting. So you can't go off and say, oh, well, if a black person says something mean to me or says something stereotypical, that's racist. That's stereotypical. That's not racism. That's not oppressive to you. That will not prevent you from getting a job. That will not prevent you from being able to walk into certain places at a certain time. That will not give you certain rights that other people wouldn't. That's not oppressive. That is not oppressive to you in any sort of way. So no one can go around and start calling everything as racism and saying that's reverse racism. Because reverse racism does not exist. I'm done. Who's wearing the Darth Vader mask?
What now? And yes, guys, that's what I really look like. I'm sorry I didn't show you before.
You're Darth Vader.
I am Darth Vader. I'm a Dark Lord of the Sith. I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, there's no necessary black and white when it comes to an issue. So it's like what I had a teacher, who attempted to. It was a doctor, and she has her doctorates, who attempted to try to get us to take in the Ferguson situation in 2 sentences. And my 2 sentences, which I'm pretty sure were an instant fail, were you kind of can't speak on an issue so complex with so little time for us, but in 2 sentences. This issue takes time and studying and experience, and you need all different experiences and prospects. And
Here,
Jen,
what?
stop talking to your drug dealer.
What? Oh, please not my baby.
Oh shit. I think one of Jen's drug dealers
What are
died.
you talking about?
So I'm gonna mute Jen for a second. Anyway, I feel like there is so much to discuss, and there's so many different experiences and viewpoints. And when you look at certain things, I see often that a lot of times we think that because we've dealt with this and we've never seen, like for me, because a lot of times I see with people of color, Latino, whatever you may be, that you see we don't see white people that deal with these issues, that we assume these issues could never apply to them. But what I've come to find out is these issues come to apply to them a lot of the time. And when I say them, I don't mean the entire group of people, but just people in general, like just white people. There are certain sects and different things, depending on whatever factors, that I've seen white people. See, this is why you shouldn't be trying to Michael Jackson it, all right? Just because you burn yourself does not mean you're going to be lighter. We don't have Pepsi money. Like, this channel does not have Pepsi money. If you burn yourself, you're just fucking burned. Okay? I'm sorry, Nia. Sorry. Give me a second before I continue. Oh, I can't unmute her. Jen, you have to unmute yourself.
I didn't mute myself?
I muted you.
Oh, why did you mute me?
Because you were having a fit and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want your personal business to be all out there like that.
My brother came into my room and told me he thought he heard a car hit something, and I started freaking out thinking it was my car, but then I remembered I put my car in the driveway, so it doesn't really fucking matter. I mean...
That's what I assumed, but I just wanted to make sure that, you know, your personal business went out there. Because I ain't trying to have people hear you cry and whatnot. It's just, I ain't got time for that shit.
If my car had been hit, you would have heard a lot more than crying. You probably would have heard me all the way down in your state.
That's why I muted you. But again, like, I've seen white people who dealt with nothing but the same issues that I've dealt with. Like, when I was in Chicago, it was South Side, 51st Morgan, and I've seen white people who have gotten the shit beat out of them by the police for simply being in the neighborhood. Now, it wasn't because they were white, but they were dealing with the exact same issues. It may not have been of their skin color. Instead, it was just another reason. It was because they were from this certain neighborhood, and so the police would fuck with them just as much, if not more, because they were from this neighborhood. And so there were a lot of times where I saw family mine that I know are just like terrible, shitty human beings, like drug dealers, or gangbangers, who would get off, while I watched people who just trying to do what they do and get on, right? Get the shit beat out of them because you were from this neighborhood or they saw you walking in this neighborhood. And it wasn't people in the neighborhood, it was the police. So it's not common by any means. And I actually have seen white people who, by a black police officer, will get stopped. And these are people who haven't done shit, because I've known them, haven't done shit, ain't did shit. They got the shit beat out of them. Or they got stopped and they got this extra ticket for some shit that was made up.
Jay.
Okay.
I just want to point something out. This is probably our longest podcast ever. We're going on 1 hour and 45 minutes.
No, at first we did a 2-hour one. But and that's why I think it is something that we can't necessarily black and white, because no matter how many times you try to black and white an issue, there's always going to be certain spots of gray that just kind of you can't ignore. Because even though there may be special cases or whatnot, there's still things you can't ignore. Like, sure, some of the white people weren't picked on just because they were white, but instead they got the exact same treatment because of the neighborhood they were from, or because of a certain clothing they wore. In the same instance, I've seen black people get a job over white people who were way more qualified than the black people. Sorry to admit it, but they were just way more qualified because they were black, and that was what that company was. That was what that company was looking for.
Yeah.
But it is a bigger
Well,
issue for us because it's wider spread for us. Like we don't like these white people dealing with this are kind of special cases. For us, this is an everyday. So I will make that statement. Now, excuse me while I do drugs. Got to take off the helmet and everything, but these drugs though. Now watching she
until it becomes a factor in which race is not a factor, where it's not something that black people face on a daily, or it's not something that Latinos face on a daily, or it's not something that Asians face on a daily, and that it can be, I guess, evenly distributed throughout the races. Unless there comes a time like that, then race will always be an issue. It will always be a factor. It has always been a factor.
Race is definitely a factor
I guess,
for everything.
now because it's always been played into this up to this day, and no one's going to when you ignoring things like that. Not saying you, but I mean people keep ignoring things like that. That doesn't help the situation. There's someone out here trying to help the situation when it comes to that kind of stuff. Instead, everyone else is trying to validate their own struggles. Oh, well, I'm this color, but and this happened to me, so how can you say that it's racism when it happened to me too? But no one's still trying to fix the problems within, that other race. They're trying to validate their own problem. And that's not going to help anybody. So stop trying to validate your own problems and just help the races that are having the issues. Whether it is black, whether it's Asian, whether it's Latino, like if they need help, that they're the ones that need to be helped. Stop trying to validate your own issues, because not to say that yours aren't as important as theirs, but if they're facing that common place, then they're the ones who need to be helped first and foremost, don't you think? It's only logical. I mean, during the Holocaust, there were Jews being...
I'm sorry, I had to turn off my mask before I responded to you. I'm sorry for the super duper long pause after you asked your question. I'm just fucking with people today. It's like, that's my first one back. Still no one's seen me. But, no, I mean, I feel like it could, because I do look at everything as there's a possibility of. It could, not saying it will be, not saying it could be as in it's very common to happen, but if someone really wanted to, it's kind of like Iran in this bomb situation. If someone really wanted to, it could be in different ways proliferated throughout all races. However, it will never be unless there's a major power shift. And I don't see that power shift happening soon. So I do agree with you that race is always a factor. I'll never debate that race. Well, I can't say always a factor, because there are certain instances like, look, for me personally, I grew up too racially fucked to give a fuck about your race. I give a fuck about whether you're qualified. That's how I grew up. My mother, who has ran and run people and companies that are billions of dollars in, will tell you she shouldn't give a fuck about your race. If that white person or that Hispanic is more qualified than you, I don't give a fuck what you look like. I don't give a fuck about your face. They're just more qualified. That's how I feel. So those are those special cases. But race is, for I will say 99% of the time, is a factor. My issue is how overplayed or underplayed the factor is. Because a lot of people will overplay the factor and they'll use it. Like, again, and I hate to bring this up, Israel and the Holocaust and we're Jews, we need this homeland. That was some overplayed shit for some land. And when white people come in and say that these black people, this is not a factor or whatever, that is extremely underplayed, because it is a factor. We just need to figure out the varying degrees in which race is a factor and then handle it from there. Because at the end of the day, race will be a factor. We need to figure out how to lessen that.
Yeah, exactly. What that makes me think of is like, okay, so we have the Holocaust. Those who were persecuted the most were the Jews, correct?
At the time, yes.
Who were also persecuted, right?
The gypsies, poor
but
gypsies.
At the same time, those in Germany were still pretty poor. They were facing some hardships due to World War I, which really started with, right? So, I mean, so you can't be like, well, that might have happened to the Jews, but we here in Germany, we were still poor and impoverished and going through these things. Like, yeah, okay, we see that you were, there was a lot of hate against you all, and you went through some problems, but who's the people right now that are pretty much going through?
It's pretty much like everyone had
issues,
but who came out the worst?
No, it's not about you right now. It is not about you right now. It is about the Jews. So we're trying to, help and save the Jews. You can't just come in and be like, well, what about me? Because it's not about you right now. So don't make this about you, because this is not an about you.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Nia, I would just like to point out something. Guys, if everyone's listening, I want to establish that argument does not apply to Jen. I don't give a fuck. Whenever it's supposed to be about her, it's about me. That's my slave. I worked hard to get that slave. And I'm working hard to control that slave when I'm not even in state. So damn it, Jen is mine.
Come on, come here, baby.
And she's talking to her cat right now.
He's
But no,
my child.
realistically, that is it is an issue. It's hard for me to sit here and say who came out worse and this not, unless you look at sheer numbers. Like if you're looking at sheer body count. Like let's say we go in World War II as a whole. If you're looking at sheer body count for like the Jews and the Germans and whatnot, sheer body count. I mean, Germans were fucked over, especially with their wars and whatnot, and their two front with the Blitzkrieg fighting, or Blitzkrieg. If you're looking at body count, Jews and Gypsies and whatnot were fucked over extremely more. But if you look at issues and how they affect each individual person, once you get down to certain micro details, it kind of levels playing fields. For example, racism for us is a big issue for anyone of color in America and a lot of Western countries, with the exception of like England. I found out because of one of my bosses for another YouTube channel and stuff. Black parents that immigrated over does not have those issues at all. Never had any of the issues we have over here. Looks at us like we're fucking insane. But in other parts of the world, white people, the controlling power here is definitely not the controlling power anymore. So it comes to an obvious point where you look at everything from the full picture. It evens out to a degree. Until you start looking at each individual impact of each individual life, and then things get so much more confusing. But if you're looking just at the base level of how things play out on a global scale, just looking at like just the basic of the basic, everything's evened out. Once you get into certain details, that's again those spots of gray in your black and white picture. Cool. Anyway. Oh no. Did my mic stop working? No. Okay, it's working again.
I hear you.
So, I mean,
how so? How does it all amount to the same? Because I don't know what about.
What was that question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, how would it amount to the same?
What and what? Well, no, I'm saying if you look at things in the mere basics, things are obviously going to look a lot different. It's going to be a very black and white picture on who's this and who's that. Like if you look at anything, let's look at a war. If you just look at totally like just numbers and body count, who got this and that, and like look at just the basics, right?
Right.
Obviously, you can see a clear winner. I'm just saying you can see a clear winner and you can see a clear loser. But if you look at the micro details and the effects of this on this certain minority of a population and other things get a lot more convoluted. Things just get a lot more murkier because then you have to look at it. It's like, okay, well, for the majority of the population, it was like this, but for this minority or these minorities, it caused these problems. Like if you look at certain wars,
that's always going to be an issue.
That's what I'm saying.
End up something as a result of someone else gaining something. I mean, just like white people here, as a result of slavery being abolished, no more free labor. Supposedly, no more free labor.
Yeah, but you also have to look at timing of things. Like, for example, England and just we'll say that part of the UK in general had slaves before America was even a thought. They ended slavery.
Yeah.
beforehand, but they don't have nearly as many issues because their timing, like their time schedules, they ended slavery when I think we were still a thought of a country. Like we were still trying to figure shit out, and they were like, "Yeah, this just isn't cool anymore."
Yeah.
And
No, not to say that there wasn't still racism. There was
but I'm just
definitely
saying, like
racism,
it's
but they just
the
didn't
degree to which it
That's
is.
just like saying, oh, well, when we were slavery, then that was racist too.
Well, no,
That
I'm just saying the degree to which any of that occurs over there. Like they don't have nearly as many issues as us because that's just the way their timetable worked out. They had a lot more time to go through the shit that we're still going through. Then again, they've also been alive a lot longer. Like I think a good deal of our issues is because America, no matter how much we like to, again, whip our dick out and show it to everybody, we're still a very young country.
Yeah.
I think, are we even? Yeah, like we haven't even 300 yet. There are countries that have existed longer than people were able to leave certain areas and people were able to cross seas. Like there are certain countries with certain populations that have been there so long that it almost seems as if that's the way it always has been and that's the way it always will be. So, like the city of London, not because there's a London and then there's the city of London, and the actual city, and it's a walled-in area, has been around so long, no one even remembers majority of it. Like they just know it's been there, it always been there, and it always has been. They still follow the same confusing legal system as they did for millennia because it's just been there. It's just the way it's been. Which also, I feel bad for any politician in that particular city of London because that shit is confusing. Oh. But no, at the end of the day, racism is wrong. Anyone complaining about, I think we can agree this, anyone complaining about who has it worse is kind of wrong because everyone has it pretty shittily. Hey, I'm sorry, well, for the most part, except for white people in America and most of the Western world. Most of what we consider the idea of the Western world, white people are doing pretty good for themselves. Everywhere else, not so much. But in the Western parts of the globe, or what we consider Western civilization and modern civilization, y'all doing pretty good for yourself. But still, racism is some shitty, and we're all humans, and we should all, not be dicks to each other. Reverend Meadows' sermon for the day: no one be a dick to each other.
Yeah.
Jen, I'm still going to be a dick to you, though.
That's okay.
Okay, as long as you know. So, anything else anyone wanted to discuss?
Nope.
Okay, well, I had quick updates for shit. Oh, all right. So, first off, I would like to establish that I know that I have been gone a while, and I'm sorry. Shit happened. Life moves on. I'm going to try to be there as much as possible. There are some big changes coming to the channel. Obviously, you see that we've started to distance ourselves from previous titles and whatnot. And you see the new channel art. It's so pretty. We're trying to expand the channel. We realize that even though we're somewhat inconsistent with podcasts, we're trying. It's just that our schedules do not line up. I will eventually be moving into Jen's closet, so hopefully I can just ride off her internet and everything will work out fine.
I don't have a closet, see? Like, I'll give you a 360 view of my room. There's one wall, there's a closet. There's another wall, another closet. And, we're back to me, and I still don't have a closet.
Fuck. Well,
Crawl space.
I'm gonna live in your crawl space, and that's how that's gonna work out.
Okay.
I don't need a lot of room. I'm just, 6'3". It's like 6'2" and a half. I'm gonna give myself that extra half an inch so I can feel good about my life. But we have a lot of new things. Two things I wanted to announce I was gonna do, and I don't even think I told Jen about. I will be doing a Twitter Tuesday and a Tumblr Thursday, which I will be sometimes including the wonderful Nia for Thursdays because Tumblr is not my domain. I've strayed away from Tumblr. I do it on purpose. She lives on the parts of the internet that I do not. So she'll be my guide. But we will be going over just some things that need to be addressed. I will also ask, not only are we going to find things, but I'd really appreciate it if you saw some shit on Twitter and you screenshotted it or something. Hey, send it to us. We'll shout you out or something. Same thing with Twitter. Also, we're going to try to stick to our time schedule a lot more. As it stands right now, it's pretty much an agreement that Saturdays, Wednesdays, podcast. When possible. Wednesdays are still kind of that free open option, but Saturdays are going to be a podcast when possible. I cannot promise that I'm always going to be here, but I'll try to be here as much as possible.
I haven't done any because, as I said, the computer I had the information for running his account off of to run the podcast kinda may have sort of accidentally finally blown up. And I may have sort of accidentally had something to do with it.
That's terrible. But yeah,
electrocuted it in a storm surge, and then I forcefully brought it back, and it's kind of been in that in-between zone where the hard drive was failing, but I didn't want to admit it, and I just pushed it until it was absolutely hard drive not found.
They're not allowed to go around any of my technical, none.
I kept the damn thing alive for 5 years with a failing hard drive.
And then it blew up. But no, I do feel bad because I'm not always going to be as active in this channel as I'd like. But I have projects and other things, and these two understand that the way my life is, just like Kevin Hart, the way my life is set up, I just can't always be here. And I promise at some point I will explain the reasons for why, but due to my current situation, that probably isn't the best idea.
He works for the CIA.
I'm in Saudi Arabia right now. They find me out, I might be beheaded. And I don't know if you guys know this, but my head is pretty awesome. I like it. I try to keep it on as much as possible. Everyone pause for Nia's face. This shit was beautiful. Because I love how I have you present it to everyone. I have you present it to everyone, so everyone's just like studying your face right now.
Can I borrow her? I'd rather her be my new co-host than that other thing you gave me that failed miserably and I wanted to push off a cliff.
Of course you can borrow Nia. I already talked to Nia about being on there when she can possibly be on there because Nia's awesome, but we'll talk about this after. Anyway, yeah, also any ideas for any segments or anything you would like to see talked about in the podcast, you can always email me. My email is, if I'm not mistaken, it's either rev dot meadows, DOAJ, at outlook.com, or it's just Rev Meadows at DOAJ, or the Rev Meadows DOAJ at Outlook. You can just email me, and I'll look at it, and we'll do it. Yeah. Anyway, I want to thank Puma, even though he's not here, for being here. Thank you, Jen, for putting the bottle down at some point. And thanks, Nia, for showing up here and showing your face to everyone, doing the one thing I refuse to do for you guys because I fucking hate you. Hate everyone. But that is the Saturday show. We will see you hopefully Wednesday. I'm finna go kill brain cells. Anyone want to say goodbye?
I think we need to. You guys need to come to Otakon. Damn it, go to Otakon.
We'll see what we can do.
All right.